the line, hold the line, hold the line. Hold the line.
battleground Melbourne. But you know who wrote that story? You did. You wrote that story with your courage, your persistence, never giving up no matter what was thrown or shot at you. And I just want to say thank you, each and every one, for everything you've done in the last 22 months and for writing that story that I had the privilege of telling. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Have you noticed that Daniel Andrews has been a little bit quiet lately?
Fuck him!
You notice he's kind of pulled his head in a little bit. Now, yeah, he was on holidays and all that. But I can, if you just lift your nose a little bit, have a sniff, you can smell something. I know what that is. It's the smell of an election coming. And he thinks that if he plays nice with us, that maybe we'll all forget come November. And that he'll get in, and trust me, he won't be playing nice if he gets elected again. So it's up to us to maintain the rage, if I can coin a phrase, completely original, never been used before, ladies and gentlemen. Maintain the rage. Obviously not original. We have to keep fighting. We have to keep showing up. But you know what? It's not just about this. This is beautiful and this is amazing. But we also have to get organised politically. Because nothing is going to strike fear into the heart of Daniel Andrews' sycophants in the Labor Party than seeing a disaster for the majors at the federal election. We've been given a beautiful opportunity. There is a federal election coming up in a couple of months, and we can make a statement at that federal election that will strike fear into the ranks of the Victorian government. But to do it, we need to get active and start working with those minor, freedom-friendly political parties that have been with us on this journey all the way through. I'm going to mention a few of them. Personally, I'm a member of the Liberal Democrats, not to be confused with the Liberal Party. That's David Limbrick, Tim Quilty, two amazing freedom fighters that we've had in this state. That's who I've chosen to support, but they're not the only ones. We see a lot of United Australia Party shirts here, and what a great job Craig Kelly has been doing in so many ways, raising the alarm and raising his voice. Craig Cullinan, the Great Australia Party, Ricardo Bossier, One Nation, Malcolm Roberts, Pauline Hanson, IMOB, and so many others. Pick one. Doesn't have to be the same one as I've picked. You choose. Become a financial member. Volunteer your time for them. There is no room for spectators in the fight that we've got on our hands in this election. Get active. Get practical. And when it comes time to vote, use your preferential vote and vote for every single freedom-friendly minor party before you vote for any of the majors. Right? This isn't about playing favourites. This isn't about picking one and fighting against all of the others. Let's get together in a way that this country has never seen before. Because I can tell you, when the Labor Party see us getting united for the federal election, they will begin to fear for their future for the following state election. And they will begin to tear themselves apart out of fear of the people getting united and rising as one. Can we do that? Can we do that? Get active. Get involved. There is no room for spectators anymore. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much, Topher Field. Give it up for Topher one more time.
G'day Melbourne! I said g'day Melbourne! I am, you are, we are all Australian. My name's Olivia, I'm 14 years old, and I am a free sovereign soul of Mother Earth. Here I am, at a worldwide freedom rally representing Melbourne, Australia. Here in Melbourne, the world's most livable city, and right across Australia, we have a comfort crisis. This is due to the past few generations having things far too easy. Well, comfort comes at a cost. We have allowed our freedoms to be taken, all for the illusion of security. What has happened to the Aussie spirit? My great-granddad helped forge the Anzac name. He stormed and fought on the beaches and hills of Gallipoli and the battlefields of the Western Front. He was shot, gassed, and received multiple injuries. He was awarded the Military Medal for bravery in the field. Warrior blood courses through my veins. My granddad, who lived through the Blitz in England during World War II, says, "Gone are the days of wooden ships and iron men. We've had it too easy for too long." My dad has always said, "I'm going to change the world." I believed him, yet I wondered how. And often, when I'm scared and unsure, he says, "Olivia, we were born for this shit." His words, not mine. I obviously have strong ancestral lines, but I also feel such a great connection to our ancestors that have walked this great southern land for thousands upon thousands of years, the true custodians of this land. We are all Australian. It is my generation that will bring the Aussie spirit back. We will bring all Australians together again. As part of my unschooling, I'm reading Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Essentially, he recounts his time in a Nazi concentration camp during World War II and his psychological observations. He observed what his fellow men would do to each other under extreme pressure to survive. Now, we are not in a concentration camp, but we are at war and we are under pressure. We've seen many fellow Aussies turn against each other, families divided, friendships broken, businesses taking part in discrimination and apartheid, jabbed versus non-jabbed. I've watched Rukshan's live streaming videos direct from the front line, the new media, not the talking heads that twist and push the narrative and push the propaganda. Shame on you, mainstream media. Your time is up. I got upset watching the police, who are supposed to serve us, the people, open fire on unarmed Australians and at the Shrine of Remembrance. This shocked the world. It's not what people think Australia is about. For we are young and free. Shame on the police for supporting tyranny and for certain members acting abhorrently. But we've all made mistakes, and it's rarely too late to make amends. I'm not going to chant "Stand with us," as many keep doing, because if you think about it, how ridiculous. Shouldn't the Aussie police always be standing with us, the Aussie people? For we are all Australians! We've seen doctors sell out their Hippocratic oath of first do no harm. In fact, we've seen many health professionals fall by the wayside, all because their governing bodies told them to. Told them to discriminate, told them to uphold medical apartheid. cafes, restaurants, shops. Anyone who is taking part in this disgusting discrimination. You know who you are. Shame on you. We were just following orders. That isn't acceptable. Shame on you. However, it is rarely too late to make amends. It is rarely too late to come back from the dark side. We are all Australians. It's time to put wrongs right. Time to stand together. Time to find solutions to create better systems, not going back to the old corrupt systems of domination and control. It is time to do what is just and right, not just right for you or your paycheck. It's time to come back to truth, honour and integrity. It's time to stop pulling each other down. It's time to unite.
It brings me great pride to see so many here today. Being there from the start with so few people and seeing this is nothing short of heartfelt. I'm struggling to find the words. The reason I came up here today, I was thinking recently, I picked up a contract with the Australian Electoral Commission, which as a federal body abides by the Constitution. They cannot mandate the vaccine. Though I've got 6 months left and a 6-month exemption to carry me through, they announced just recently a mandated policy. You all remember when ScoMo said, we're not going to mandate the vaccine. Yes. To my own detriment, and even though I've got an exemption to carry me through, I've come up here today to stand with those that have lost their jobs, to stand with those that held the line, and to publicly resign in protest. I have a family, I have children. What we do in life will echo in eternity. I'm doing this to stand with people who I don't know, those who have suffered, those that held the line. And one day, our children are going to remember these moments. We need to be courageous. The AC cannot abide by the Electoral Act and at the same time ignore the Privacy Act or Section 5123A. As a manager, I'm not going to ask staff for their mandate. I'm not going to ask them if they've had the vaccine or not. I'm going to stand for them and resign in protest today. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all.
Thank you, Andrew. Absolutely courageous move. He's been protesting in the lockdowns, absolute hardcore lockdown protester, super nice guy. All right, so we have one more speaker.
My fellow Australians, welcome to the Worldwide Rally for Freedom 6.0. We stand united with over 150 cities around the world for one reason: to take back our freedom! We are no longer asking. We are here today to bring about bold and decisive action. Our freedom movement is making powerful strides each and every day to secure our rights now and forever. Our message is being heard around the world, and our contemptuous political class is on the run. Our culture of Australian freedom is becoming more widespread and overcoming the COVIDian cult of fear. And our community bonds are strengthening while their pandemic narrative is collapsing. The cult of coronavirus hysteria is in its final days. Even those most far gone are starting to see the writing on the wall. They will never admit that they were wrong, but we will all know the truth. Their web of lies cannot keep pace with the reality unfolding in front of us. The elites of this world can clearly see now that our great awakening will defeat their great reset. The victims of mass formation psychosis are becoming increasingly desperate. And the enablers of authoritarianism are getting ready to abandon their sinking ship. Our freedom movement has deployed some of the largest demonstrations in Australian history. Our freedom movement is evolving to reach all new levels of impact and effectiveness. Our freedom movement must now turn its eyes to delivering solutions of, by, and for the people. And most of all, our movement must be mobilized to take back Australia. You, empowered, are the future of this country. You, emboldened, are our greatest weapon. You, awake, is their greatest fear. And you, united, cannot be defeated. We need to form local groups for consistent, targeted, and widespread action. We need to engage in civil disobedience to face tyranny head-on and push them to their limits. We need to engage in dialogue with those who disagree with us and dismantle their mass formation psychosis. And we need to work together to protect all of those who support our movement from unjust interference. We need to outcompete the mainstream media and take back the narrative. We need to strike down the unjust edicts with legal proceedings and overturn them in every court in this land. We need to build private networks that support economic freedom. And most of all, we need to work together to vote out every single incumbent politician in Australia that does not support freedom. Form local groups. Deploy civil disobedience. Break the formation. Protect our movement. Become the media. Fight the case. Build the network. And vote them out. This psychological war will not be won overnight, but the tide is turning. We will learn the true character of ourselves and of all of those around us. We are only at the beginning of our arc of history, and the pendulum of freedom and tyranny always swings back the other way. We will build the Australia that we want our children to live in. We will create a pathway to mobilizing our movement in the defense of our freedom. we will forge ahead with steadfast resolve to return our nation to greatness. And we will stop at nothing to protect our rights from all enemies, foreign and domestic. We know that our rights do not come from government. We know that our rights cannot be conditioned by anyone. We know that we are responsible for protecting our rights and the rights of others. And we know that our rights must be defended for our future with an Australian Bill of Rights. It's time to disrupt the Andrews regime. It's time to push back against medical discrimination with boycotts, competition, and private economic networks. It's time to unleash a wave of action over our nation. And it's time to make Australia free again. We are never going to give up. We are never going to give in. We are the freedom movement. And freedom always wins! Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
March. The next speaker is a fantastic, very good man. Doesn't really need an introduction, but it's a privilege to call him a great friend of mine. He's the host of the MCJ report that everybody knows and loves, exposing the government corruption, calling them out. He's also a fellow hardcore lockdown protester. He's been there on the front lines. Please welcome Morgan C. Jonas.
Good afternoon, everybody. How's everyone going? All right. Welcome to the Worldwide Rally for Freedom 6.0. How good is this? My goodness, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank the organisers for putting on a great job. But most of all, I'd like to thank each and every one of you, because what you proved today is that it does not matter how many times they knock us down, we always get back up on our feet. For the past 2 years, everybody here has been subjected to inhumane treatment. We've lost our jobs, we've lost our livelihoods, we've lost our friends. Has anybody experienced that? Friendships that have gone? Yeah. We've been forced to do things we didn't want to do. Many of us have been assaulted, and some of us have even ended up in jail for what? Speaking up for freedom. Well, I think that I speak on behalf of every single person here today when I say that 2022 is the year that we save Australia. Let me hear you a bit louder. We're going to take our country back this year or what? That's what we need. We have an amazing once-in-a-lifetime opportunity this year to put a dent in this system and to restore freedom. Now, as many of you know, I've been nominated by the United Australia Party to stand for the seat of Flinders. And I can tell you that all throughout the country, there's lots of good, decent, regular Aussies that are standing with a variety of different minor parties. Some are standing as independents. And I can't stress how important it is for us to support each other, because this is our one chance to get those traitors out of office and to get people in that actually love this country. Who here thinks that is absolutely what we need to do? I tell you what, each and every one of you standing here today, there's a fighter inside of each and every one of you. The Australian fighting spirit is alive and well. you have a chance to contribute towards reinstating freedom in this country. And reinstating freedom, look around, that's exactly what we're going to do. Now I've got 10 visions for Australia. I'd like to share them with you, and you can let me know what you think about it. I'm going to read off a list of 10 and expand. 1. To put an end to trade deals that damage and destroy Australian industries. 2. To tax incentivise the rebirth and reinvigoration of Australian manufacturing. 3. To aggressively reduce the size and scope of government. The government's entirely too big. I tell you what, I think a great place to start would be getting rid of those really pesky authorised officers. What do you reckon? They need to go. What a disgrace that we pay their income for people like that. It's just absolutely disgusting. Alright, number 4. To permanently expel the pharmaceutical lobby from Canberra. 5. To repeal and replace the pseudo-medical board, otherwise known as APRA. Never again can we allow for medical professionals in our country to be punished for simply telling the truth. 6, and I think you're going to like this one, the implementation of an independent media oversight committee to hold the mainstream media accountable for every time they lie. There's a lot of journalists out there engaging in some of the most disgusting defamation that I've ever seen, and it's only right that they're forced to stand up and be answerable for the damage they've caused. Is that fair enough? Yeah! 7. To investigate COVID-related fraud and misconduct for the purpose of holding those accountable who have violated their positions of power during this time. They need to stand up and be held answerable for their crimes. Is that fair enough or what? 8, as well put by Harrison before, the implementation of a legitimate Australian Bill of Rights. I think we need it. I think we need it. 9. Okay, this is going to take a lot of work, but I'm down for the challenge, so I hope that you are as well. Number 9, the implementation of direct democracy. Okay, so at the end of the day, when it comes to absolutely rubbish pieces of legislation that undermine our freedoms, such as the Pandemic and Management Amendment to the Public Health and Wellbeing Act, it should be you and I that have the final vote, not a couple of lousy crossbenchers. By any means necessary, and by every single avenue available, we must take power away from the government and put it back into the hands of those who deserve it, which is us. It's not them, it's us. And last but not least, the complete removal of pandemic emergency powers, full stop, period, no more. What has the government proven during this time? They've proven they cannot be trusted to be in possession of this type of executive authority. They've done the wrong thing, they've exploited it, it needs to be taken away from them. They can never be in a position again to impose things such as face masks, social distancing, lockdowns, and most of all, we got to get rid of the mandatory vaccinations. That's it.
And the QR codes!
And the QR codes, all of it. I said it before and I'll say it again. The only place these rotten face masks belong is in the rubbish bin. Is that fair enough? I am so sick of seeing these things out in the street. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is 2022. This is our time to strike. Now, I've said it before, but I'll say it again, and that is the time for talk is well and truly over. So let me ask you this. Who here this year in 2022 is going to do whatever it takes to change the course of history for Australia? Who here is willing to dedicate your time and effort to getting those traitorous politicians voted out of office and to getting good, decent people voted in? Who's willing to help with that? There's so many good people putting their hand up around the country from a range of different parties. I really encourage you to get in touch with them, because at the end of the day, let me tell you this. I don't care the extent to which those people in office have screwed us over. Australia is still the greatest country in the world, and our country's worth fighting for. Who agrees? It's game time, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to put boots on the ground. Now, there is one more person that I'd like you to hear from today. She's somebody very special to me. She spent 22 days in solitary confinement fighting for all of us.
Monica, Monica.
Guys, she needs no introduction. Make her feel welcome.
Well, if they can't keep me down, they sure as hell can't keep you down. I'm just one person, and now we all have each other. I mean, the community that we have built together over the last 2 years is a community that will last forever. And we will always be better people because of what we've gone through. And this is what they did not count on. They did not count on people like us being strong and passionate and not giving up. So you are the reason that we are going to win this battle against tyranny. And I want to tell you, on the December 4th, 20 countries around the world protested at our consulates and embassies to stand in solidarity with Australia and expose the human rights abuses that we are going through. So thank you to those 20 countries. Thank you, thank you. And because of that, Reignite Democracy Australia has now been able to network with the entire world. So joke's on them for trying to silence us. But anyway, so I just want you to know, I want you to feel confident that things are definitely happening, and there absolutely is hope. Remember that our enemies have been planning this for decades, maybe even over a century. We've only just figured it out, right? Maybe some of us a bit longer, but we've only been fighting back for 2 years, so don't worry, it's happening. Like, people are coming together around the world. We're going to start doing things like they do, which is mass propaganda and things like that, but propaganda that's actually true would be nice. So I just want to give that to you guys as hope, and soon there's going to be some really big announcements about that. Now, one more thing I just want to say is I actually think the real pandemic is that our fellow people all around the world have lost purpose in their lives. And that is why they have fallen for the lies. Because every time they put that mask on, they feel a part of something bigger than themselves because they've lost purpose. They walk outside, they see other people wearing masks, they feel like they're a part of a community. And did you know that 65% of Americans say that their job is meaningless? And 60% of Americans say they don't have one meaningful relationship. So, the pandemic has provided them purpose and meaning in their lives. Now, what can we do with that information? We need to let these people know that we are a community and they can have purpose with us, okay? So be patient with these people. Have empathy for these people, because soon they are going to realise that we've been fighting for them the entire time, and we are going to want to welcome them into our community. So try to be as empathetic and patient as possible, because one day we're all going to be together again. I also just want to say, and I've made a few posts about this, but, you know, it's time for us to figure out where our breaking point is. You know, where is the line for us? Because once we realise what that is, we're actually going to be unstoppable, okay? So how many times are you willing to do something you don't want to do before you wake up in the morning and you hate who you are? You know, you can't do that. So make a decision now, and don't regret the decisions that you're making. And so I have this saying, you know, you will never regret trying, but you will never, no, yes, you will, sorry, I did not prepare this speech. You will never regret trying, but you could regret not trying. So try while you still have the time. So I'll finish on this. Good always prevails. The truth always comes out. Every day we wake up is one day closer to us getting our God-given rights back. It's going to happen. So until then, stay strong, stay focused, and I will see you all in the newly liberated society that we are building right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Morgan C. Jones and Monica Smith. What's the ETA on the Freedom Babies, maybe, you know?
Free Victoria!
Free Victoria! Free Victoria! Free Victoria! Free Victoria! Free Victoria! Free Victoria!
Yes, sit down.
Can you believe, actually, it just occurred to me, it's almost that second year anniversary of the 2 years to, so the 2 weeks to flatten the curve, only a couple of months away, which will coincide with the next Freedom Rally. Who would have thought 2 weeks would turn into 2 years of, you know, COVID tyranny?
For it.